Ellis clenched his fists, glaring at the advancing enemy. They think they can silence us with some fancy tech? He growled, the fire in his eyes reflecting off the dimly lit bridge. Let's show these punks what a human warship can do. Prepare to engage manual controls only. It's time they learn not to mess with Earth. Space was never silent for those who listened closely, and aboard the Phantom, every hum, buzz, and beep spoke volumes. Today, they screamed chaos. Captain Jaden Ellis stood in the dim glow of the bridge, hands clasped behind his back as he watched the distress signals blink relentlessly on the main screen. Report. Ellis's voice was sharp, cutting through the tense atmosphere like a knife. Sir, multiple distress calls from the Galactic Council station, replied Lieutenant Mira Singh, her fingers flying over the console as she collated data. They're under attack, unknown assailants, heavy artillery. It's bad. Ellis's jaw tightened. The Council often looked down on Earth's quaint reliance on human-operated systems, but today it seemed their high-tech fleets could use a lesson in reliability. Plot a course. Maximum warp, Ellis ordered, his voice calm but carrying an undercurrent of urgency that spurred his crew into faster action. The journey was short but tense, with each passing second stretching out as the Phantom hurtled through space. As they approached the station, the scale of the attack unfolded before them. A maelstrom of laser fire and debris clouded the area. Visual on screen, Ellis commanded, stepping forward as the forward cameras fed live images to the bridge display. The view was apocalyptic. Several Council ships were adrift, their advanced AI systems apparently crippled. In contrast, the attackers maneuvered with lethal precision, their targeting systems unimpeded by the mysterious outage affecting the Council fleet. Looks like their AI's been jammed, muttered Chief Engineer Ramos, who'd come up to the bridge to assess the situation. Their ships are sitting ducks. Ellis's eyes narrowed. Not on my watch. Deploy countermeasures. Let's give these bastards a run for their money. Manual override. People, show them how humans do it. With expert hands and coordinated commands, the crew of the Phantom swung into action. Ellis himself took the helm, guiding the ship with the practiced ease of a pilot who trusted his instincts over any automated system. As they neared the station, the enemy seemed to notice their approach, shifting some of their firepower towards the Phantom. But Ellis was ready, weaving through the barrage with maneuvers no AI could predict. We're in position, announced Singh, her voice steady despite the adrenaline that Ellis knew was pumping through her veins as much as his own. On my mark. Engage! Ellis's command was the trigger, and the Phantom unleashed a barrage of its own, the impact of their return fire clear even through the chaos. Under his leadership, they carved a path through the enemy lines, reaching the station where the Council members were holed up, still broadcasting desperate pleas for help. Prepare for boarding. We're going in, Ellis decided swiftly, turning from the helm to face his crew, who were already gearing up for a fight. Rescue mission, folks. Let's remind the galaxy why you don't mess with Earth. As they docked, Ellis led a team through the ravaged corridors of the Council station, their boots echoing ominously. They reached the Council chamber to find several members cornered by enemy forces. With precise, disciplined bursts of fire, Ellis and his team took down the assailants, securing the chamber. Among those they rescued was General Zarath, who looked distinctly uncomfortable owing his life to a human ship. Didn't expect to see Earth forces saving the day, Zarath grumbled, though the relief was evident in his voice. Ellis just grinned, clapping the general on the shoulder. Get used to it. We're just getting started. Back aboard the Phantom, after the adrenaline of the rescue subsided, Captain Jaden Ellis and his crew faced the reality of their new role. The Galactic Council space, usually bustling with diplomatic traffic, was eerily quiet, the usual hum of AI-operated systems silenced by the mysterious jamming attack. Ellis convened a meeting in the war room. The air was thick with tension, the holographic map of nearby systems glowing ominously red in several areas. Listen up, Ellis began, scanning the room with a steely gaze. The Council's fleets are down. We're all they've got. We're not just fighting for them, we're fighting to keep these bastards away from Earth. Lieutenant Singh, still in her combat gear, updated the tactical display. We've identified several pirate clusters taking advantage of the situation. They're hitting soft targets, raiding colonies. Ellis pointed to a cluster of blinking lights on the map. That's our next move. We hit them before they gather strength. Commander Ramos, joining the briefing, interjected, our ship's the only one immune to whatever's jamming the AIs. It's old school, but it gives us the edge. Exactly, Ellis nodded. Prepare all hands for combat jumps. We're doing this the old-fashioned way, quick and dirty. The crew dispersed to their stations, the ship buzzing with renewed purpose. As the Phantom approached the first target, a mining colony under siege, Ellis's voice boomed over the comms. Battle stations. Let's show them what a human warship can do. The approach was stealthy, under radar, as they used the cover of a nearby asteroid belt. As they emerged, the pirates, caught off guard, scrambled to respond. Fire at will, Ellis commanded, and the Phantom unleashed a barrage of missiles and laser fire, devastating the pirate ships with unerring precision. Amidst the chaos, Singh coordinated the ship's weapons systems, her calm demeanor belying the intensity of her focus. Target their engines. Disable, don't destroy. We need them scared, not martyred. The battle was over almost as quickly as it had begun. The pirates, unable to match the Phantom's agility and firepower, fled into deeper space, leaving the colony safe. Ellis's team landed to assist with repairs and medical aid, their presence a reassurance to the shaken colonists. You folks all right? Ellis asked the colony leader, a grizzled old miner who looked up at the towering warship with something akin to awe. Thanks to you, Captain. We thought we were goners, the miner replied, his voice rough with emotion. Never thought I'd be glad to see a warship in orbit. Ellis clapped him on the back, a smile cracking his stern demeanor. Stay safe. We'll clean up the sector, but keep your comms open. Trouble comes back, so do we. The victory at the mining colony had boosted morale aboard the Phantom, but Captain Jaden Ellis knew the real challenge lay ahead. General Zerath of the Galactic Council, impressed yet skeptical, proposed a war game to test the effectiveness of human-operated ships against the Council's AI fleets. It was a chance to prove Earth's strategic worth on a grand scale. Let's not just participate, let's dominate, Ellis briefed his crew, his gaze fierce as he outlined the plan. We're not just up against machines, we're up against every skeptic who doubts what humans bring to the table. As the Phantom approached the designated sector for the war games, the tension was palpable. The crew checked and rechecked their stations, running simulations and strategizing every possible move. The Galactic Council's observation ship loomed large, a silent judge watching from a safe distance. Remember, it's not just about firepower. Outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast, Ellis reminded his team as they took their positions. The war games began with the sounding of a deep, sonorous buzzer. Instantly, the AI ships sprang into action, their movements precise and calculated. The Phantom, dwarfed in number and size, danced between them, its maneuvers unpredictable and fluid. Singh, bring us around for another pass. Target their flank where they cluster. They can't adapt as quickly as we can, Ellis commanded from the helm, his hands steady on the controls. Lieutenant Singh executed the maneuver flawlessly, and the Phantom sliced through the formation of AI ships, its guns blazing. One by one, the AI ships faltered, unable to match the creativity and adaptability of a human crew. Ramos' status? Ellis called out, his eyes never leaving the viewport. Direct hits on 7 of their drones. They're regrouping, but we've got them rattled, reported Commander Ramos, satisfaction evident in his voice. As the final exercise of the war games commenced, the Phantom faced its toughest challenge yet, a simulated blockade run. The AI ships formed a tight net, their weaponry synchronized. Ellis smiled, a plan forming in his mind. Prepare for a full frontal assault. On my mark. Now! He yelled, and the Phantom surged forward, directly at the blockade. The AI ships, programmed for typical evasive counters, didn't anticipate the bold move. At the last moment, Ellis ordered, "Hard to starboard, now!" The Phantom veered sharply, slipping through the blockade as the AI ships collided with each other in confusion. Silence fell over the sector as the dust settled. The Phantom emerged unscathed on the other side, the blockade thoroughly breached. On the observation ship, General Zerath watched in stunned silence. Finally, he spoke into the comm, his voice broadcasted to all ships. "So this is a human warship. Impressive, Captain Ellis. Most impressive." Ellis stood on the bridge, his crew erupting in cheers around him. He allowed himself a rare grin, pride swelling in his chest. All in a day's work for the Phantom. Let's get ready to head home. We've made our point. The aftermath of the war games found Captain Jaden Ellis aboard the Galactic Council's space station, preparing to leverage the Phantom's success into political capital. The corridors echoed with the voices of many species, each discussing the stunning display of human capability. Ellis, accompanied by Lieutenant Singh, navigated through the throng to the Council's main assembly room, where a pivotal session was about to commence. "Remember, we're not just fighters, we're diplomats now," Ellis whispered to Singh as they entered the massive, dome-shaped chamber. The air buzzed with anticipation. General Zerath, his stature imposing even among his peers, greeted Ellis with a nod as he approached the podium. "Captain Ellis, your demonstration has opened many eyes. Let's see if it can open minds as well." Ellis took the stage, the weight of the moment settling on his shoulders. "Honored delegates," he began, his voice echoing under the high arches. "Yesterday, we showed you what a human warship can do. Today, I propose we discuss not just what humans can do for the galaxy, but what we can do together." Murmurs filled the air, some skeptical, others curious. Ellis continued, "We propose a joint task force, one that combines our human instincts with your technological prowess. Together, we can address threats more efficiently, ensuring the safety of all Council worlds." A Thelonian delegate rose, her voice cutting sharply. "And if another AI disruption occurs? How do we ensure that these human instincts are not a liability?" Ellis smiled slightly, Singh handing him a tablet. "We've developed training programs, based on the same techniques used on the Phantom. We can teach your crews to adapt and survive, to think beyond algorithms." The debate that followed was intense. Ellis and Singh fielded questions, parried doubts, and built on bursts of support from unexpected corners of the room. As hours passed, the tide of opinion began to shift perceptibly. General Zerath, seeing the momentum, added his support. "I was skeptical of Captain Ellis's methods. But having witnessed their effectiveness, I believe a blend of our strengths is our best path forward." The session ended with a vote. The result was closer than Ellis had hoped, but it passed. The Council agreed to initiate a pilot program for the Joint Task Force. As the chamber emptied, General Zerath approached Ellis, extending a hand. "You've navigated this day as skillfully as you navigated your ship through our war games, Captain. Perhaps there is more to human methods than I admitted." Ellis shook his hand, feeling the shift in their relationship. "Thank you, General. We look forward to learning from each other." Walking back through the now quiet corridors, Singh elbowed him lightly. "Not bad for a day's diplomacy, huh?" The Phantom glided through space, its engines humming softly as it approached Earth. Inside, Captain Jaden Ellis stood in the observation deck, looking out at the blue and green orb that was home. The mission had been more than successful. It had changed the course of human history in the galaxy. Lieutenant Singh joined him, her face reflecting the light of the stars. "It's good to see Earth again," she said, a hint of relief in her voice. Ellis nodded, his eyes not leaving the planet's surface. "It is. We're coming back with more than we left with, Mira. We've earned respect out there." Back on Earth, preparations were underway for a grand ceremony. The Phantom's crew was to be honored not just for their bravery, but for securing a future where humans would stand as equals among the stars. As they landed, the crew was greeted by a sea of faces: media, military personnel, and dignitaries, all eager to celebrate the heroes who had defended not just Earth, but the ideals of the Galactic Council. General Zarath was there too, having come to Earth to witness the inauguration of the Joint Task Force program. His presence was a symbol of the new alliance, a testament to the respect Ellis had won. "Captain Ellis," General Zarath said as he approached, his voice carrying over the crowd's murmur, "your actions have spoken loudly. Let's hope the echoes help guide the council." Ellis shook his hand, acknowledging the weight of their shared future. "We'll make sure they do, General." Together. The ceremony was a blur of speeches and applause. Ellis spoke of the challenges they had faced, the necessity of unity in diversity, and the strength of combining human determination with alien technology. His speech was met with standing ovations, his crew beaming with pride behind him. As the festivities wound down, Ellis found a moment of quiet away from the crowd. He was joined by Dr. Lena Horowitz, the Phantom's chief medical officer, who had been instrumental in treating injuries during their missions. "You know, Jaden, when you told me we were going to make history, I didn't realize you meant changing the galactic power structure," Lena joked, handing him a drink. Ellis laughed, accepting the glass. "Neither did I, Lena. But I think we were ready for it. Humanity was ready." They looked out at the gathering, where humans and aliens mingled, sharing stories and laughter. It was a small preview of what the future held: a galaxy where Earth was a key player, not just a participant. Ellis raised his glass. To the Phantom. To her crew. To humanity. "And to new horizons," Lena added, clinking her glass against his.